Hello and welcome to our episode of FinTech Focus TV with me, Toby. We are here in New York City at the AI in Capital Markets Summit that's powered by the 18 Group, and it's an absolute pleasure to have Mick from OneTick on. Mick,
thanks, Toby. Thanks for inviting me. Pleasure to be on your channel.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here.
Well, look, we've had a good chat beforehand, and this is a topic. Well, this whole subject, the whole day today, is one of my favourite subjects to speak about. There's so much happening in this space at the moment.
Certainly
so
is.
many cool things that are going on, so much innovation at speed, at pace, and so many different opportunities, and so much thinking about things in a different way. It's really sort of facilitated this explosion in what people are doing right now within the marketplace. So you guys have been very much at the forefront of it. We're going to talk a little bit about your panel that you've been on beforehand. We're going to talk a little bit about interoperability and how this market's evolving. But before we do that, Mick, tell us a little bit about yourself and the business.
Yeah, Mick Hittesdorf, OneTick Cloud Product Architect. I joined OneTick recently to lead our technical architecture strategy. One of the hallmarks of our roadmap this year is to really embrace interoperability and embrace what I'm calling the modern data ecosystem.
Yeah.
Open data formats, interoperability with other tools. We believe we do many things well in the tick data analytics space, but we recognize that our customers want to use tools of their choice in the cloud and otherwise, and use our OneMarketData analytics platform for what it does best, but potentially use other tools for trading adjacent use cases. So the market's moving that direction. The big players, AWS, Databricks, others, have recognized that trend, and we're really addressing that trend as well. So that's a big theme of what we're doing, and how that relates to AI is data continues to be the foundation for any modern data initiative, and a platform like OneTick is that foundation. It provides normalized market data coverage, broad and deep, high quality data that quality is measured by metrics, and we believe we can accelerate any capital markets ML AI initiative with our platform.
So you mentioned data there. That was the topic of your panel. We joked beforehand that sort of data is the unsexy stuff that allows the really sexy stuff to happen with AI.
Right.
And it's becoming more and more apparent within that. And I know people are doing some amazing things to get data in line to allow some really cool things to happen afterwards. But tell me a little bit about the panel. Interesting topic, important topic. Tell me if you're thinking about people who are there and you want them to go home today with 3 or 4 things from that panel that you want them to be thinking about, to be taking as lessons from it, lessons you may have had from it, from speaking across the panel, what would those be?
Yeah, so focus on building trust in your data. Your users won't use your data if it's not trustworthy. One of the best ways to build trust in data is by having a data quality program with metrics, and investing in a data platform, right, that makes that as easy as possible. We think our platform, in that it normalizes data and provides broad coverage, multiple asset classes, as well as analytics, is an excellent platform to accelerate any ML data AI initiative. So data quality, a data platform strategy, data management strategy, data governance, data quality strategy is very important. I think those are some of the key themes. I think it's easy to get sort of very excited and enamored with everything that AI can do, but fundamentally all the potential of AI is predicated on high quality data. So you need to invest, like I said, in the unsexy stuff, in the data platform, data governance, normalizing your data, et cetera. That then becomes the springboard, we think, for accelerating your ML and AI strategies.
Yeah. No, I think it's a really interesting sort of play, isn't it? And the other thing you mentioned at the very offset of this was the whole concept of interoperability. Another word that I think over the last couple of years has become more and more apparent. I love the fact of that because I sort of started in this industry where we're talking about enterprise technology, and these legacy systems, monolithic systems are there, and it's like this is how you have to do things.
Right.
As we've evolved over the last 20 years with our own personal digital ways of working and operating in our day-to-day life, that ability for everything to be seamless and customized and tailored really sort of leans into that interoperability space. Still, I think there's people there who want to have all the toys and say this is the way that you have to work. But the businesses that really excite me are the ones who are saying, how can we collaborate to put this together?
Right.
And in this AI world, particularly in capital markets at the moment who we're working in, the partnerships and ways of working together become really important. And I know this is something that OneTick's very much at the heart of.
Exactly. I mean, a true data strategy, AI strategy that's enterprise and scope and scale is going to touch on multiple departments: your compliance department, your regulatory, your traders, your analysts, your portfolio managers, et cetera, right? In some way or another, market data touches all of those different departments, right? Firms don't want, one, to have their market data locked up in a vendor's silo, right? Two, they want to allow their users in different departments to use their tools of choice, right? Your data scientists who are building your ML AI models, they probably have their own stack of tools that they're very comfortable with. They may need access to market data to build their models. Your regulatory team, maybe not quite as sophisticated as your data scientists, maybe have a different set. Maybe they just want to use SQL, right? But again, they want to use the same data, but maybe a slightly different subset of the data. We have customers coming to us saying, we love your data, but we don't necessarily want every user to have to learn to use the OneTick API. How do we make your data accessible to our data science team to build ML AI models, to build compliance solutions, et cetera? So our answer is, we're embracing open data formats, Parquet, eventually Iceberg, to allow a customer to build a cloud data lake that is interoperable and open and accessible from their tool of choice. And they own their data, which they should, not the database management vendor.
And tell me a little bit about how that's being adopted, because obviously that's that's an exciting thing for companies to hear about, and I think sometimes they feel them maybe pinched into a corner a little bit, and that we have to work this way, and that's where it goes. That must be pretty emancipying.
Yeah, it's obviously a little scary for a database vendor, right? Because there have been vendors who have made their fortunes on locking customers into their database platform. I mean, go back 2 decades, right? You were an Oracle shop or you were a DB2 shop, right, or whatever. And once you made that solution, it was almost impossible to move away from that vendor because your data was actually locked up physically in their database, right? So yeah, I believe it is emancipying for customers, and they're actually sometimes surprised that a vendor like us is going to them and saying, hey, we recognize that you want to own your data, and we want to help you do that. We think that the more people use our data, even if they're not using our data platform directly, it's good because we're still the platform that's typically bringing in the data and normalizing the data and laying the data down. If they want to query in that last mile the data using some other vendor's tool, so be it, because they're still driving value from the data that OneTick is providing. And then we still have confidence that our analytics have tremendous value and are a differentiator, right? So we are confident that companies will still use our analytics, to do what our database does best, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think there's so much you can touch on what you just said there, but we're in a time there where data is growing at an ever increasing rate, and there's never been more data than there has been today, and tomorrow there'll be more data than there has been today as well. And I think just the ability to recognize how to manage that, how to move it further forward, how to work with it. We've got this golden opportunity at the moment of how AI is allowing us to perform at a faster speed, at a better speed, more efficient speed, more productive speed, with all of that sort of thing. Right. That becomes a really, a real point of differentiation, doesn't it? And it's how people adopt that.
Right, and I think it's important, as we're in an AI conference, to kind of touch a little bit more on that topic, right? So talking about AI as an enabler, or data as an enabler for AI, but we are recognize that building AI into the product, into its DNA, is also very important. And what we're finding, because we traditionally have really put a strong emphasis on normalization, and we have a very strong data model, that it's become somewhat easy for us to build AI, natural language queries, code generation on our platform, because we're able now to train a model. So we're working on a kind of a new feature, new module in our product, where we have trained and tailored models to actually generate code for, let's say, non-programmers to access our database and do tick analytics, as well as for, let's say, in the compliance space, a compliance analyst who's not a programmer, be able to use natural language to interrogate, a compliance alert. So let's say there's an insider trading alert or a wash trade or something like that, and you need to dive down into some quotes or something like that to get the full picture of what led to that alert. Sometimes that can require pretty sophisticated SQL or Python programming, and we're using AI to actually train the model to understand our API, understand our data model, understand our data, and be able to, in natural language, very quickly, drill into the details of that alert.
It's incredibly democratizing, isn't it, when you think about that, and what sort of, how it changes the playing field and where people can really move themselves further forward from smaller companies to compete with larger companies. It's a real level playing field now in terms of where people go, and I think specialization wins in terms of where that goes.
Right. Agreed.
Let's finish by talking about this whole space and OpenTick's in a really interesting period of the evolution of the business. We're halfway through 2025 as we record this today, almost to the day. Looking further forward, what does the rest of the year look like for the business?
Yeah, so our business commercially is incredibly strong. We are organized into a couple different business areas. We do resell data as well, so you can get data from our cloud. Again, we support over 200 global exchanges, equities, futures, options, some crypto as well. We have our database platform is historically we're very strong. We have a very fast-growing RegTech business, which is getting a lot of industry recognition, getting awards at multiple conferences. That business is exploding, and its foundation is our traditional market data and platform business. So we're able to demonstrate how you can use our platform to build solutions like transaction cost analysis and regulatory surveillance and things like that. That business is growing tremendously fast, as is our data business in the cloud. We also manage services business, so customers who want to come to us and have us kind of own the whole thing soup to nuts, we can do that as well. So we continue to be very customer driven. That seems to be resonating really well in the marketplace. We're innovating, building AI into the product, as I mentioned, as well as enabling AI, and trying to make the product easier to use, in the cloud, on-prem, or hybrid, as the customer wants.
So it's not slowing down for you then?
No, not at all. It's the business has been great so far in 2025, and we're very optimistic about the rest of the year and next year.
Sounds superb. Mick, listen, thanks so much for coming on.
Pleasure, Toby.
Really enjoyed hearing about it all.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode of FinTech Focus TV.
Thank you.